Well, I hope you guys are doing great. We're still waiting on parts for the Warrior. I've been going back and forth with the company I bought the cylinder jug from and all that stuff, the one that had the bad jug. I've been going back and forth with them. They have one on the way. It won't be here today, Saturday. It won't be here till Monday. So just holding on parts for this thing right now. So not a big deal. So I'm gonna push this thing out of the way. But today I'm focusing on cleaning up this basement. This place is a mess. I'm tired of it being a mess. I'm tired of just crap being everywhere. So my buddy Matt's coming. He's gonna help me clean up some of this crap down here. I'm gonna start on this end and just clean up this whole messy place. I've already started doing it over here, just cleaning up, organizing, and I wish some of you guys were here. I'll give you guys a whole bunch of crap. You know, just unload it on you. It's been a few days later. The other day we did get some of the stuff cleaned up. We got this area over here and over there cleaned up, and I didn't really focus in on here so much because we ended up going swimming in the pool because it was so hot and just miserable out here. But we did get the hood to my old car hung up in the rafters. It's really good and secure. It's not going to go anywhere. So just trying to clean up down here a little bit, get rid of, make some more space. Tired of having little trails. You know what I mean? Just junk. I don't need it. Drum set, I'm going to take it down and store it, I think, in here. In this closet, we'll get rid of this. And I got to get rid of this box spring and that chair, or that sofa, or that love seat, whatever it is. I got to put that in storage. Just clear out some room from this pole right here forward against the wall. My dad's wanting to put his pool furniture there because he's tired of having to buy new pool furniture about every 2 years, which I don't blame him. So I'm going to try to clean up down here and get rid of some crap that I don't need. Anyway, back to this thing. Late Saturday evening, this was awesome. UPS dropped off my new cylinder jug. Really stoked about that. So we can put this thing back together now. I took this thing out of the package and looked at it really good this time, and it looks really good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean that up. I got the piston ring compressor. I'm going to hook it on the piston. I'm going to slap the jug on because I already got the gasket and the O-ring and all that stuff ready to go. So all I got to do is just slap the piston ring compressor on the piston, slide the jug on, and then it's basically really downhill from there. Got the cylinder jug on. Basically all I did was I put the piston ring compressor on the piston, had it wrapped around, and I grabbed the piston with one hand and my other hand I had the jug. And this is what I do with the timing chain. I'll take a piece of wire through it so I can run it through there and hold it up out of the way, and I just slid it all on there and just tapped it down. I had the one hand I was holding the piston rod and all that together, and my other hand I just took it on top and just smacked it down, slid down, and I got it all down. I got the new gasket on the bottom. I got the O-ring on this dowel pin. I swapped over the dowel pins that I needed to. Put this 8mm in. This is just finger tight. It's not that tight. And I put the head gasket on. Well, it's kind of warped up looking, but it's sitting on there. It's ready to go. And I unhooked the piston ring compressor off. Now we're going to be putting the head on. I had this thing at work last week. We checked it over. It made sure the valves are seating good. They're seating good. I had this head rebuilt in 2013. So it should be good to go. I cleaned up the surface on it really good. It's all good and flat, ready to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the head, slide it on here. I'm going to tilt it at an angle, take both my front head bolts, and I'm going to slide them through this part of the frame right here. As you can see it coming down, put it into the head, both sides, set the head down, run the chain up through it with my wire, and torque the head down. The two Allen bolts right here, they're 14 foot-pounds, and these four are I think they're 29 or 30, something like that, foot-pounds. I think it's 29. I can't remember. I have to look at my manual again. I was just looking through it a minute ago. But get this head torqued down. Basically, you start with, I think, both these Allens, and then you go to crisscross angle with the head bolts, and then I put the timing gear back on, and then the chain tensioner back on. It's just downhill. I'm gonna start bolting things up pretty fast on this. Just reverse order now. Well, it's been a few minutes since I've filmed anything on this. I've been answering phone calls. I've had customers call me about their cars and blah blah blah. So while I've been on the phone, I've been working on this thing at the same time. So I didn't get a chance to film much, but basically, I mean, you can see it's pretty much put back together. I got the covers back on. I got the exhaust all the way put on, carburetor, intake, the bracket up here. I mean, everything's back together on it. The only thing I got to do now is put the tank on it and the plastics in the front. Well, I pushed it out here, started it up, ran it. I've already done 2 heat cycles on it, just basically revving it up and down, up and down, up and down, and then I just shut it off again. I've already done it once. I just did it again. I'm gonna let it cool off where I can touch the exhaust again, and we'll fire right back up. And I might take it for a little spin out here around the yard, but while it's cooling completely off again, I'm going to pull Marissa's car in. I'm going to do an oil change on it real quick and get that done. Got the oil change done on Marissa's car, good to go. So now we're going to fire this thing up and let you guys hear it. Should be good and cooled off by now. Yeah, good and cold. All right, let y'all hear this thing fire up. I already did a few heat cycles on it. See what it does. Not too bad. No smoke. Well, it's early morning, right before work. It's a little after 7. I want to before I head to work today. It's kind of slow on Tuesday mornings anyway. We don't have a lot scheduled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this thing over here in this little area we cleared out this weekend, and I'm going to change oil in it. And while oil's draining out of this thing, I'm going to back the old heavy Chevy out and I'm going to power wash it off. It got a little dusty at my buddy's house a few weekends ago when I went out there. Well, I got the Warrior oil draining. It's draining right now as we speak. It's really nasty. Glad I did that. Let me show you something that just ruined my morning. Started this thing up and backed it out, and I rolled the windows up. Haven't done it really in a while. My window's cracked on the passenger side. Look at that. All the way down. That sucks. That was a brand new window too I put in that thing. Got the old car snowed up. I'm going to rinse her off now. Got her rinsed off and dried off. I like it when I'm rinsing it, since I did. If you guys watch any of my videos or watch them, beginning of this year or whatever, I did several steps of waxing and coating this thing. So now all I got to do is when I washed it, you know, and I'm rinsing it, all the water just beads off. I only took a couple little microfibers, and I just went around just kind of wiping it down a little bit, but looks pretty good, really clean. The oil drain plugs put back in. Now I just snugged it down, put a new O-ring on it. So now I'm going to turn my attention to the oil filter housing right here. Just the 3 little Allens. I'm going to pop those off, pop that cover off. There's an O-ring on it. Pull the oil filter out, spray it off with some brake cleaner, put it all back together, and I'm probably going to put a new O-ring on it this time too as well, since I have one, and just slide her back together and fill her up with oil. Filter's done, so now I just got to fill it up with oil. This is the oil I run in it, Rotella 1540. This is what I've always run it, no issues whatsoever. So I'm going to fill her up. Oil change is done, a little over 2.5 quarts, and she's full, ready to go. I fired her up and let her run for a minute. No major oil leaks, so we'll call that a win. This thing's done. We're going to try to be planning here in the next few weeks a big group of us to go ride, and I'm going to try to take this thing. I don't hardly ever ride this thing out on trails. To be quite honest, I always loan it out to friends, you know, so everybody can ride. That's the one thing that's the only reason why I have just cheap four-wheelers and stuff, you know, ATVs or whatever, so everybody can go ride and have a good time. That's the only thing I'm down to doing nowadays. So we're trying to get a bunch of us together, and it's just really hard to get everybody together to go ride because everybody always has busy schedules. I got my car cleaned. I might be going to a car show this coming weekend, see some people there, but some people want me to go, so we'll see how that pans out. Toolbox, I got to put the lock in it. I got the lock laying there on top of it in a little bag. I'll get that installed and get this thing sold. Somebody I know, I talked to somebody last night, they're actually wanting to buy it, so good enough for me. I guess that's it for this video though. I'm going to get to work. It's a little after 8, I'm running a little bit behind, but oh well, we don't have much plan going on today anyway, so I'll see y'all next time. Be good to one another. Get out there and enjoy life while you got it. See ya.